So unfortunately we have a cow that is quite sick. We're not entirely sure what's wrong, but we're thinking pneumonia. She just had a calf, so that would indicate that she was deficient in calcium. But Eddie's tried giving her calcium supplements, I guess you could call them, and it isn't working. So we have a separate spot where we can isolate one cow. So he has the cow in that spot. She has access to water and feed, and Eddie's gonna milk her there instead of running her through the robot because she's just too weak. Have you ever wondered where your milk comes from? I mean, we all know milk comes from cows, but I'm talking how the cows are being treated, who's taking care of them, the ins and outs of these lovely ladies who produce dairy products for us day in and day out. Please join me in my dairy farm kind of life. Is it icy? Nice, you don't even need a sled. Hey. Whoa, that's pretty fun. Okay, I'm gonna go help Dad in the barn. So this is the first time we're going to use this hand milking system. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so as I was saying that we have this handheld milking system. We haven't used it yet. Eddie's going to give it a try. He needed an extension cord and then the extension cord wasn't long enough. So now he's gone to get another one. But I'll show you the cow while we're waiting for him. So this is the cow. She's not feeling too good. So I'll just show you the sectioned off pen here. So there's a water bowl for her. There's her feed. And she's just taken a section of their pen. Say that again?
I always thought it was a generator.
No, it's not a generator. It's
a pressure washer.
You thought it was a pressure washer? It kind of does look like the pressure washer, but this is the little machine that will pulsate the milker, and then it'll milk into this bucket. It's turned into a whole family affair. We've got the kids, all 3 kids, ready to watch. Here comes Eddie now. The cow's sick, yeah. Eddie was just stripping her milk there, milking her a little bit by hand, and now he's going to give her a minute to let her milk down and relax, which is probably going to be hard with all of us standing here watching her. He's rubbing her to calm her down.
The cows need a minute or a minute and a half to let their milk down.
Does that feel good, Mama? Does that feel good? So even though she's sick, that'll help her to feel just a bit more comfortable. If any of you have breastfed any babies before, you'll know that it's a little uncomfortable to sit on that much milk. So this will help her to feel a little more calm and comfortable. Yeah, it's a lot of milk, eh? So now we are going to dump that milk because she is treated, so she has some drugs in her system, and we don't want to ship that. You can't ship it. And some might think we could use it to feed the calves, but we don't like to do that either because we don't know the effects that the antibiotics in the cow system would have on the calves. So yeah, unfortunately we have to dump it, but that's just one thing we're doing to try to take care of her. So what are you doing now?
I'm gonna treat the cow because I think she has pneumonia. So I'm gonna put 55 cc's of Bourgal in her vein. And when you put it in the vein, it acts a lot quicker than if you put it in the muscle. You can put it in the muscle, but the first 2 days when I treat with Bourgal for pneumonia, I'll put it in the vein, and then the next 3 days I'll put it in the muscle. And I gave her a drug called Medicam yesterday, and that's a painkiller, and that lasts for 2 days. So
like Tylenol or Advil, right?
Yeah. So the only thing I'm gonna give her today is Bourgal. And she doesn't like it, so I'm tying her up. It doesn't seem nice, but it's the only way to get it in the vein, because if they squirm too much, you'll never find the vein. I wrap this baler twine around their neck, which also doesn't seem nice, but you have to wrap it around their neck tight so you can get the vein to stick out, and then you can find it. I think I found the vein. See the blood come out?
Yeah.
Pull back a little bit, make sure I'm in the vein, and I do that twice.
Why?
See the blood? Just to make sure it's still in the vein, because a very small jiggle and the end of that needle won't be in the vein. So I just check when I'm halfway through, because you want to make sure all of this drug goes in the vein. That's going to hit them the best. And if I'm not in the vein, I'm likely under the skin, which isn't good, because this drug you're supposed to put in the muscle if you don't do it in the vein.
Right.
And then we'll let her go and let the drugs do the work. Hopefully, with being milked out and getting a fresh shot of drugs in her vein, that she feels better in the next few hours. Done.
If that was difficult for you to see, I understand. Let me tell you a quick story. So our youngest daughter, Kylie, she spent some time in the hospital last winter. The first time we brought her in, the doctor thought she had pneumonia. The second time also thought it was pneumonia, but then looked a little further into it and discovered that she likely has asthma. So while we were in the hospital, the doctors and I were doing everything in our power to help her to breathe better and help her lungs to heal. Did she like it? No, she didn't. But we did the things we needed to do for her to get over that asthma attack and resume her daily life. Now, if your child was sick or had a fever, or even your dog, maybe a parent sick, had a fever, you would likely give them Tylenol to take away the pain. You would do what you could to help them heal. If you had a child or loved one with an eye condition that if they were not administered eye drops to, then maybe they would go blind. Then you would hold that person down and you would administer those eye drops to help them to heal. So in the same way, this is what we're doing for the cows. It might not have looked that great to tie her up so tight and put the rope around her neck so that the vein would pop out, but had we called the vet would have likely done the exact same or similar thing. Eddie has just been taught these tools to be able to do it himself through his father, and we're fortunate for that because he can take immediate action on farm. But I hope that just sheds a little bit of light to you on why we did that. They're big animals, so sometimes we need to use force to be able to control them and administer medications or do procedures that help heal them. We're heading to the barn now to get our picture taken in front of the robots for an advertisement for Gia. Eddie is away for the day once again, so I'm in here checking on things. We have a new baby calf. Mama and baby are snuggling. It's a girl, number 26, and Lila named her Quinn, or Quinny. News, we got another heifer. And I'm gonna go check on that sick cow that we were showing you the other day, milking her. So, she's doing pretty good. She is responding well to the treatment. So we're thinking pneumonia is probably what she has. There she is there. So yeah, she's been milking quite well. She's been giving about more than half of that big pail that you saw. I forget how many liters exactly that is, but she's been giving that every milking, and she's eating, and you can see there's manure in her pen. She's drinking, so that's all great news, and we're hoping she can make a full recovery. She's still not feeling so good, but she's doing better. Hey, Mama. There's some pregnant cows over there. The one right under that fan, her udder pretty full, so she's probably going to calve any day, would be my guess, just from looking at her. Pretty exciting. Hopefully it's a girl. The kids are supposed to be helping me push and feed while I am checking on those cows, but it doesn't look like they are doing that. I've just finished pushing in the feed. It was definitely a lot of work because I just did an arm workout yesterday, so my arms are killing me. I can hardly hold this phone up right now. But I just wanted to mention that, of course, there are robotic feed pushers, which will push the feed in, I don't know, several times a day, which allows you to get better production out of the cows, because every time the feed is pushed, they do generally get up and start eating it, and then they'll go get milked. And the more they eat, the more milk they produce. So it does pay back, but we went over budget on our build, and it just wasn't in the cards for us. We also figured we'd be around quite a bit this first year or two of robots, so we didn't think it was a huge deal to push feed in often through the day. Okay, so I'd like to tell you a little bit about how the robots work. So there's a cow going in here, and you'll notice that she gets bumped back out, so she's not eligible to be milked. You can set the robots to milk cows every certain amount of hours. So let's say she's been milked within the last 2 hours, so it just opens the door right out. And I find it kind of funny because then they're like, well, now what? And anyway, here's the other robot, and there's a cow, and here you can see her eating her treat. Each time they're in the robot and eligible to be milked, they receive some feed, which they find very tasty, and you could sort of see there that it slowly gets distributed to them throughout their milking. So that's another incentive for them to go into the robot and get milked. And I'll show you underneath. Here's the milker on. You can see it pulsating, and she's just nicely standing there getting milked. There's some cows up here waiting in the fetch area. They're very curious, and Eddie has fetched them into this area. When he comes for chores, he can check the computer to see which cows have not been milked for a while, and then he will just go calmly bring them up to this fetch area, and they will stand there and slowly go through the robot, because the only way to get back through to the feed and lie down is to go through the robot. Now she's coming out, and we'll likely go get something to eat before laying down. And I'll show you the cows waiting in the fetch area here. Oh, another one is going in. And here are the cows waiting. So there's not too many to fetch right now, but anytime a cow has a calf, we often will fetch her, or some of them just don't get up and go as often as the others. And you can see this is a busier time of day in the barn. A lot of the cows are standing, having some social time. That's just kind of how things work here.